Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTubers. This is Jerry Diamond with How to Get Out of Babylon. In the interim between now and whatever else comes down the pike, and I've got some very definite ideas. Not wondering. As far as direction of what I feel is the right thing to do, and I'll talk about one of them. One very major thing tonight. Major. Okay, but in the interim, I wanted to touch on something that is very, very important, and that is the ability to make shelter and provide heat in survival situations, i.e., in a relocation, whether it's during, let's say, a system down scenario, you're staying where you're at, bug in or bug out, or get to where you're going, or like I am, basically at the bug out location for the rest of my life. Well, not exactly here, but general locality, OzArk Plateau. In any of those scenarios, you're going to need to possibly make shelter. Absolutely. And at some point, you're going to have to make shelter for somebody. So, shelter number one, heat number two. Shelter's more important than heat. You can always curl up in a round ball like a rabbit. Small fire, whatever, good insulation, sleeping bag, leaves, newspapers, People have stayed alive in extremely cold weather for centuries, even millennia. So, believe it or not, you're no different. For those of you that say, "Oh, I like my comfort, and if I can't be comfortable, I just want to die," well, guess what? You won't. In other words, you won't just curl up and die. You will fight to stay alive. So, just simple human nature. It's like the people that say, "Oh, I would never eat another human being." Yeah, you would. I mean, I'm not talking that I advise it or that I think it's a horrible thing, but in a survival situation, it is stated very clearly. I had a discussion the other night with a female person here nearby who said, I said, "Well, you'd eat your own children." Women will just go, "No, I would never eat my own children." Yeah, it says so in the Bible. It's happened repeatedly in history, and it happened in the Bible. So, you think you're any different than every other human being on the face of the planet? Plain, no, you're not. You will fight to survive. Okay, so anyway, there are 5 C's of survival, and that's not computer, credit card, car, cuties, and cash. No, that's cutting, combustion, ability to make fire, cover, shelter, cordage to build things, to make your cover, your individual garments with, and your shelter. And then there's 5 of them, and it's cordage, cover, combustion, cutting, container. Some container to hold, carry, and boil water in, preferably a really good Nalgene quality stainless steel bottle with a wide mouth lid with a bail on it, which you can make out of various things. Look up videos on those. That's about the only kind of container to have. Your Nalgene plastic things, you can't boil water in. You just can't put them over a fire. Get stainless steel, have a stainless steel, wide mouth, 1 liter, etc., etc. So, a good knife, whatever. This is Canadian Prepper, the video I'm taking this from. Shout out to Nate, Canadian Prepper, Nathan. Great guy. He's gone head-to-head kind of in videos with Wrangler star Cody Crone repeatedly, especially since Cody Crone came up with the cheap imitation of a Silky, a Samurai, and started selling it and saying that it was better than Silky. Just completely absurd. And that's what this video is about. The reason I want to cover it is because it's a cutting implement. It's not a knife. You can chop with a knife, but chopping makes a lot of noise. Nate covers this and a lot of times. A saw is very quiet. You can cut a lot of wood with it. This guy uses a Silky Katana Boy, 650 millimeter, to cut his firewood with. Okay, so it's basically it's a heirloom chainsaw. In other words, you can hand it down to your kid, your grandkid, and don't have to worry about oil and gas and feeding it and carburetor and sharpening the chain and everything else. It just works. Granted, once in a while you're going to go through a blade, but blades are relatively cheap compared to chainsaws. Enough said, just want to get through this. I want to cover this and 2 other things tonight, so here we are. There we go. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the blade with a plastic, I don't know how good that is, but he doesn't comment on that, but there's a plastic cover over the blade. You can see that, clear plastic. A lot of times they're pretty cheap, and they're hard to get on and off. A very inexpensive and very readily available imitation of this, not really imitation, Fiskars at Walmart, probably at every Walmart in the country, there is a pole saw similar to this with a good D handle on it. It's a curved blade like this. You'll see that. It's about the same size, same length of blade. I'm guessing you can get it for 20 to 30 bucks. So the Silky here, I don't know. I'm guessing, just as a guess, I don't know. He doesn't really give prices in here. He says that the Samurai is 30 to 40% less than the Silky. He does say how much the Silky is. I think 120, 150, I don't know. Anyway, irrelevant. Fiskars is a very good brand. It's a Nordic brand. Remember that. If you're going to buy saws and things, buy things made by Scandinavians or Japanese or somebody that knows what they're doing with steel. Don't buy junk. Okay? So, this is being fed down into the sheath, the scabbard. The scabbard on the Silky is extremely heavy duty. Those are 2 rollers. They lock it in place. Once you snap the blade in, it's snapped in there. It's not going to come out. The Samurai, he says, is very loosely fit and could fall out if you took a rough and tumble. There's a buckle on both of them that fits up to a belt loop. The buckle is about, looks like 2 or 3 times beefier on the Silky than on the Samurai. All right, so come on now, which way are we going here? Oh, that really that's just not right. What is? Oh, come on. Oh, hey, that's very, extremely. I hope we're not filled up enough that, yep, we're out of business.